The sky turned red above Earth's capital. Sirens echoed. People screamed and ran for shelter. Everyone thought this was the end. The aliens had come, but no weapon fired. No bombs fell. Instead, from the giant alien ship, a beam of soft golden light touched the ground, and from it stepped a tall figure. She was beautiful, cold, silent. Her skin had a silver glow. Her long white dress moved like liquid light. Her eyes, pure violet, stared ahead with no fear. She was Princess Vera, daughter of King Zavrix of the alien empire Valkyries, and she had come to Earth alone. The world's leaders were shocked. No one knew why the most powerful alien king had sent his only daughter, and why as a gift. The message from the Valkyries' empire was short. Peace is offered. The princess is our gift. Treat her well, or face our wrath. No one dared to refuse. Dr. Aaron Vale, a quiet scientist working for Earth Space Division, was chosen to care for her. Why me? He asked. Because you study alien biology. And you're not political, the commander replied. They said she must live with someone pure-hearted. Pure-hearted? Aaron didn't feel like a hero. He lived alone, worked with machines, and talked to computers more than people. But he agreed. When Vera arrived at his lab home, she didn't speak. She simply walked in and sat down, like she had done this 1,000 times. Her beauty was otherworldly. But her eyes, they were sad, cold, empty. Aaron noticed something strange right away. Her vital signs, heartbeat, temperature, brainwaves, all were changing, not staying alien, but slowly turning human. At night, he heard her humming a soft, lonely melody. She sat by the window, watching the stars, like she missed home. He tried talking to her. Do you understand me? She turned, nodded once. Why did your father send you? No reply. Are you okay? She finally spoke. Her voice was soft, like wind through glass. I was born broken, Aaron frowned. Broken? She looked down. I cannot produce life. I am infertile. To my father, that means useless. Those words hit Aaron like a punch. She wasn't a gift. She was exile. Thrown away by her own family. But you're not useless, he said quickly. You're alive. You can learn, grow, feel. Vera gave a bitter smile. Feel? That is human talk. Aaron paused. You are changing. Your vitals are becoming more human each day. She said nothing, then whispered, I was sent here to die slowly, without honor, without pain, just fade away. My father thought humans would treat me like glass. But you speak to me. Days passed. Aaron watched her carefully. She began to eat human food. She asked questions. She started helping in the lab. One morning, she fainted. Alarms in Aaron's lab beeped. He rushed to her, lifted her, scanned her body. Something was wrong, or maybe something was very right. Her body wasn't breaking down, that it was adapting, thriving, and in her stomach was something new. Something impossible, a second heartbeat. Aaron stared at the screen. That can't be. Vera opened her eyes slowly. She saw his face. I'm dying, aren't I? He shook his head. No, Vera, you're pregnant. Silence, long deep silence. Then her eyes filled with tears. For the first time, that is not possible, she whispered. I was cursed. I was made unable to carry life. Aaron looked at her stunned. But your body is changing. Maybe Earth healed something, or maybe humans and Valkyrians were meant to mix. Vera stood slowly. If my father finds out. She didn't finish the sentence. That night far above Earth, a tiny hidden drone floated near Aaron's lab. A single image was sent back to the alien ship watching from the shadows. Vera glowing with life. A child inside her. And in the dark command chamber of the ship, an alien soldier bowed to the screen and whispered, the forbidden heir exists. The message traveled across stars to King Zavrix's throne. The king's eyes burned with rage. He stood. "Prepare the fleet." He growled. Asterisk, for the first time in her life, Vera felt warm sunlight on her skin, not artificial light from a spaceship. Not cold moons or silver skies of Valkyries. Real sunlight. Bright, soft, alive. She stood in Aaron's garden, touching the green leaves with wonder, watching birds fly across the blue sky like they were painting joy in the air. She didn't speak much, but Aaron noticed the change. This wasn't the same silent alien princess that arrived days ago. Something had awakened in her. Each morning, she walked a little more, ate a little more, asked a little more. "What is that sound?" she asked once, pointing at the chirping birds. "Those are sparrows," Aaron smiled. "They sing when they feel safe." Safe, she repeated the word, softly, like it was new. She stayed by the window often, her fingers tracing invisible lines across the glass. Maybe she was drawing memories. Or maybe dreams. Aaron didn't ask too many questions. He treated her like a guest, not a gift, not a science project, and definitely not someone broken. He talked to her like she was a person, not a thing left behind by a cruel king. One night, she watched him fall asleep at his desk, papers and tools spread around him. She walked over quietly and placed a blanket over his shoulders. She didn't understand why she smiled while doing it, but she did. And somewhere inside her, in a place once cold and quiet, something stirred. The next day, Aaron gave her news. That changed everything. "I've checked the scans again," he said, voice shaking slightly. "There's no mistake. You're not just adapting. Your DNA is rewriting itself. You're becoming something new." Vera looked confused. "You mean human?" "Partly," Aaron nodded. "But something more. You're not just surviving, you're changing." She touched her stomach gently. She had felt it again last night, that strange flutter inside her, like tiny wings brushing against her bones. She hadn't told Aaron yet. Not fully, but now her lips parted. "There's life inside me." Aaron's eyes widened. "You knew?" "I felt it," she said. "At first I thought it was pain. But it grew warm. Then I heard it. A beat. Like music." Aaron leaned forward. "Vera, you shouldn't be able to carry life. Your people said you were infertile." "I was," she said simply. "But Earth is strange. You are strange. And when I came here, I didn't feel empty anymore." She paused, then looked at him, eyes soft. "I think I was never broken. I was only waiting for the right place. And the right person." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Aaron felt something in his chest, a tightness he didn't expect. She was an alien, a royal, a being from a race far older and stronger than his own. But in that moment, she wasn't any of those things. She was just someone scared, someone discovering something new, someone becoming human. Later that night, the power in the lab flickered. Aaron walked through the corridors to check the systems, thinking it was a glitch. But then he saw it, a small black device stuck to the outer wall. It was blinking, recording. A spy. He ran back to the lab, shut down all outgoing signals, activated a blocker. Vera was standing near the window again, but this time, her glow had dimmed. "They found me," she whispered. "Who?" Aaron asked, already knowing the answer. "My father's watchers," she said. "They were never far. He must have guessed, or maybe he feared. My body should have died. But instead, you're carrying the heir to two worlds," Aaron said slowly. Vera's lips trembled. "He will come, not to welcome his grandson, but to erase the mistake." "No," Aaron said firmly. "We won't let that happen." She looked at him. A human with no army, no weapons, no power, but something in his voice made her believe. The stars above Earth shimmered that night. Somewhere in the dark, a fleet began to move. Quiet, fast, dangerous. And at the center of it, King Zavrik stood staring at the screen showing his daughter, alive and glowing. "She carries the Forbidden's blood," he said coldly. "She has betrayed the throne. But she has found something you never had," a voice behind him said quietly. The king turned sharply. "And what is that?" The soldier hesitated, then whispered, "Hope." They called her infertile, a hollow vessel, a royal disgrace, and yet, inside her now, was life. It beat gently at first, a soft thump, like a secret knocking from within. But day by day, it grew stronger, bolder, like it had something to prove to the universe that tried to deny its right to exist. Vera sat in silence, her eyes closed, feeling the rhythm under her hand. Her skin, once cool and metallic, was now warm. Her body, once engineered to resist emotions, now ached with them. She was afraid, not of death, but of what this life meant. Aaron entered the room, holding a tablet filled with scan results. He didn't need to speak. The look on his face said everything. "His DNA," Aaron whispered. "It's not just a mix of human and Valkyrian. It's evolving." Vera opened her eyes slowly. "Evolving?" Aaron sat down beside her. "He's growing faster than any normal child should. But there's no damage, no pain, just progress. Vera, your child is something new, something this galaxy has never seen." She looked down. Her hands trembled slightly. "Then he will be hunted." Aaron didn't argue. They both knew the truth. A royal child born outside the Empire. A child of two worlds. It was a threat to power. A reason for war. They heard the news that night. The Valkyrian fleet had left orbit. Their destination, Earth. Their orders, unknown. But Vera already knew. "He's coming for me," she said softly. "Not to take me back, but to erase me." The Earth Council panicked. Leaders yelled through screens. "Send her away. Give her back. We can't risk everything for one alien woman and her hybrid baby," Aaron fought back. "She's not a risk. She's a key. Don't you see? This child is a bridge between us and them." But the council didn't care about bridges. Only borders. And now, those borders were under threat. A secret vote was held. Cold and quiet. Decision. Vera must be surrendered, but no one told Aaron. That night, while Vera slept, 3 soldiers entered the lab. Silent, swift, ready to take her away. They didn't expect Aaron to be waiting in the shadows with a stunner in hand. 3 shots. 3 bodies dropped. Vera woke to chaos. Aaron rushed to her, pulling her from the bed. "They were going to take you," he said breathlessly. "I'm not letting that happen." "They'll send more," Vera warned. "Then we run," Aaron replied. "We run before the king gets here." She hesitated, her eyes wide. "Where can we go?" He held up a chip. "There's a private transport, off-grid. I built it for emergencies. It's not fast, but it's invisible." Vera looked down at her stomach. Her child kicked for the first time. It was time to choose, hide or fight. She chose both. They escaped into the night, flying through black skies and stardust. Earth grew smaller behind them. In front, endless space, cold and dangerous. Inside the ship, Vera sat quietly, holding her belly. "Do you think he'll be normal?" she asked. Aaron smiled gently. "He'll be more than normal. He'll be free." Vera blinked slowly. "In Valkyries, freedom is a myth. We are born for duty. Even our hearts are not our own." "You're not in Valkyries anymore." "No," she said. "I'm not, but I still feel him watching." Across the stars, in the dark throne room of his flagship, King Zavrik stared at the reports. Fleeing ship detected. Trajectory unknown. Subject pregnant. Hybrid confirmed. The king clenched his fists. "She dared to carry a traitor seed," he growled. "I gave her to the humans like a broken gift. And now she creates a weapon." She creates a child, one of the advisors corrected quietly. The king turned with fire in his eyes. No, she creates a threat to the throne. And I will crush it before it ever breathes. Back in the ship, Vera felt a sharp pain. Not fear, something deeper. My father, she whispered, is coming. How far is he? Aaron asked. Not far enough. Aaron stared at the stars. Ahead, they were running, but how long could they run? He looked back at Vera. Her skin glowed faintly. Her child moved again, a mix of blood and destiny. A life that shouldn't exist, but did, and because it did, everything was about to change. *E was silent. Too silent. King Zavrix stood at the center of his warship, looking out into the galaxy through a tall glass window. Around him, his fleet floated like dark giants, silent, armed, and ready to strike. His generals waited behind him, not daring to breathe too loudly. A hologram flickered beside him. It showed Vera's last known position, her tiny ship disappearing into the dark tail of a dead star system. She is still running, one general said. Zavrix didn't blink. No, she is hiding, like prey, like a coward. She carries the child, another whispered. Your blood. And the humans. The king's jaw tightened. That thing is not my blood. It is a virus. A disease born of betrayal. For a long time he said nothing more. Then coldly he whispered, find them. Burn the sky if you have to. On the other side of the stars, Vera woke up in pain. It wasn't the sharp pain of sickness. It was deeper, ancient, like her body was being rewritten again. Her child was growing too fast. In human terms, she should have been only weeks pregnant, but her womb swelled now with the shape of a full second trimester. Aaron was scared, but he didn't show it. He simply brought her water, held her hand, kept speaking gently even when the ship trembled from malfunctioning systems. Your body is changing faster than mine can understand. He told her, will it kill me? She asked, hesitated. I don't know. Vera looked away. Maybe that's what my father planned all along. Not death by force, but death by nature. No, Aaron said firmly. He didn't plan this. He never expected you to live. He never expected you to love. That's what he fears. Vera's eyes filled with a strange sadness. I never knew what love was. Not truly. Valkyrians are not trained to feel. We obey. We serve. Even our dreams are assigned. But not anymore, Aaron said softly. Now you dream for yourself. She nodded once, then winced. Her hands flew to her stomach. Another kick. Stronger. Not normal. And then a voice buzzed through the ship's communication panel. Unknown signal. Encrypted language, but Vera understood it instantly. Her father's voice. Vera, daughter of Valkyries, child of the throne, you have committed betrayal. You have defied the legacy of your ancestors. You carry within you an abomination. Return now, or suffer. She closed her eyes. His voice was the same as it had always been, sharp as ice. Dignified, hollow. Do not test me, daughter. The voice continued. You are still my blood. But the moment that child breathes, you will be nothing. Aaron muted the signal. The silence that followed was louder than the threat itself. They're close, he said. Yes, Vera whispered. And they will come with fire. In the command room of the Valkyrian mothership, the generals watched Vera's signal vanish again. She blocked us. One said, her connection to the bloodline still grants her authority, another added. Zavrix clenched his teeth. Not for long. Bring me the child, dead or alive. Burn the humans' planet if you must. But what of the prophecy? An older voice spoke quietly from the shadows. All heads turned. An elder of the royal court stepped forward. His robes were old, his eyes older. There's no prophecy. The king snapped. You forget, the elder said calmly, that your daughter's bloodline was once foretold to bring balance, not through war, through union. Lies, Zavrix. Hissed Dot, but somewhere deep inside, he remembered the old stories. A child born of two lights, one silver, one gold. A bridge between broken worlds. Or a storm to end them all. He turned away. Beliefs are for the weak. I will crush this bridge before it's built. The fleet moved. 30 warships. Thousands of soldiers. Weapons that could rip planets in half, all aimed at one fragile ship, one woman, one unborn child. Dot in the small transport ship. Aaron prepared for what could be their final jump. Fuel was low. Shields were failing. Vera sat in the back chamber, glowing faintly. Not just her skin, her very presence. She hummed softly. The same melody she once sang by the earth window. Only now it had changed. It carried pain and power. The child moved again. Dot, and in that moment, she saw a vision, clear as crystal, a throne of light, a child standing between stars. Worlds on either side, human and alien, reaching toward him, fearing him, hoping for him. Then the vision shattered. She gasped. Aren! He rushed to her side. I saw him, she whispered, not as a baby, but as something more. He was leading, speaking. He wasn't afraid. What does it mean? It means we can't run anymore, she said quietly. We need to face him. My father. Aaron's eyes widened. You mean surrender? No, she said, rising slowly. Hand on her belly. I mean, challenge. Back in the throne ship, King Zavrix prepared his armor. A message from his fleet buzzed in. Target ship located. Intercept in 20 minutes. Awaiting your orders, the king smiled grimly. Prepare my personal vessel, he said. If she wants a challenge, I will answer her myself. The stars no longer felt safe. They used to whisper promises of distance, of escape, of hiding places. But now they felt like open eyes. Watching, waiting. The small ship drifted silently above the far side of Earth's moon. Its engines were cold, its lights dimmed. Vera and Aaron had shut everything down. To the Valkyrian war fleet, they were invisible, but time was running out. Vera sat in the rear chamber, her back resting against the wall, one hand over her belly. The child inside her no longer kicked like before. Now he shifted, slow and heavy. Aware of the silence, maybe even of the danger. She could feel his heartbeat as if it were her own. Aaron walked into the chamber, tablet in hand, face pale from sleepless nights. We can't stay here, he said. Their sensors will sweep this sector within the hour. They're looking for energy signatures. Vera nodded. Where can we go? There's an old supply port, off-grid. It's hidden inside the rings of a broken gas planet. Not on any maps. I worked there during the Cold War. If we're lucky, it still exists. If we're not lucky, she asked softly. Aaron didn't answer. As they prepared to jump, Aaron noticed something strange on his readings. Vera's vitals weren't just strong, they were too strong. Her cells were producing energy far beyond normal limits. Not just adapting anymore. Generating something entirely new. Your body, he whispered, half to himself. It's no longer alien. And it's not human either. You're both. And something else. Vera looked at him. Do you fear me now? No, he said quickly. But I think your father does. The ship's engines burst to life, carefully, quietly, and then the vessel slipped away from the moon, sliding into the cold vacuum of space, heading for the dark sector. Behind them, just minutes later, the Valkyrian scout ships arrived. The scent trail was cold, but not gone. King Zavrix stepped out of his personal vessel like a storm given shape. His armor was polished black, trimmed with gold veins that pulsed with royal energy. He looked out at the stars with contempt. To him, Earth was filth, soft, weak. And his daughter had betrayed everything by growing fond of it. She hides, he said, standing aboard the Earth Orbit Command ship. But not because she is afraid. She hides to protect what should never exist. His generals remained silent. Only one spoke, the elder who had warned him before. "You fear your grandson." The elder said. The king's eyes narrowed. "He is not my grandson. He is a flaw, born of dirt and pity." "He is born of love," the elder said, "and that makes him powerful." Zavrix turned. "Love makes things fragile. Power is taken, not gifted." "Then why," the elder asked, "does your voice tremble when you speak of him?" Zavrix did not reply. He ordered the fleet to split. Half to chase Vera, half to prepare Earth for punishment. Far from the chaos, the hidden station loomed in. The shadows of broken planetary rings, rust-colored metal. No lights, floating debris. Dead silence. Aaron guided the ship toward it with steady hands. Vera watched from behind, her mind restless. The station looked abandoned, but it also felt familiar. When they docked and stepped inside, the air smelled of iron and dust. "This place is from the old world," Vera whispered. "Before the treaties, before the wars. You remember it?" "Not with my mind," she said. "With my blood." Inside the station, they found broken tech, long-dead monitors, and metal walls scorched from past fires. But deep in the heart of it, they discovered a chamber that still pulsed faintly with energy. An ancient interface, Valkyrian design, but older than the Empire itself. Vera touched the surface, and the walls lit up around her. Symbols glowed. Forgotten language came alive. A voice echoed from the walls, soft, old, and feminine. "Daughter of the lost blood. You return." Aaron stepped back. "What is this?" Vera didn't speak. She walked slowly to the center of the chamber. Images appeared, holograms of past wars, fallen empires, a child with golden eyes standing between two worlds. And then, her face, her own, as a child, standing beside a woman who looked like her but older. "My mother," she whispered. She had never seen her mother's face. "She brought you here," the voice said. "She left her blood in you, the seed of balance." "You are the bridge," Vera shook. "No, I am hunted. I am broken." "You are not broken," the voice replied. "You are born for this moment." Suddenly, the child inside her kicked again, but this time the chamber reacted. Lights surged. Walls hummed. "He is ready," the voice said. "Ready for what?" Aaron asked. "To choose." Outside the station, a new signal appeared on the scanners. Dozens of Valkyrian ships, fast, angry, closing in. Aaron rushed to seal. "The doors. They found us." Vera didn't move. She placed her hand on her belly. "No more running," she said. Aaron turned to her. "We'll be killed." She looked up, calm, glowing. "Not before he sees the truth." "What truth?" "That the future isn't made by kings," she said. "It's made by children who are brave enough to be born." The station pulsed brighter than before. And far above them, the Valkyrian fleet began its descent. The storm had come, but Vera was no longer running from it. She was ready to stand. In its center, a child had not yet opened his eyes, and yet, war had already begun in his name. The station trembled with distant noise. Not from inside, but from above. The outer sensors flickered, catching flashes of heat and metal moving through the void like blades. The Valkyrian fleet had arrived. Dozens of ships, war cruisers built to silence rebellions. Fighters trained to kill without question. Engines that burned planets and left nothing behind. And leading them, not the king, but something worse. A silence that followed his name. Zavrix had not spoken since the last transmission. He didn't need to. His orders were already written into the blood of his soldiers. Find the heir. Kill the mistake. Return with silence. Inside the station, the lights had changed. What once was flickering and cold now pulsed with energy. Soft and ancient. The walls hummed like they remembered something. Like they were waking from a long sleep. Vera stood at the heart of the chamber, one hand on her swollen belly, the other pressed against the glowing interface. She wasn't just hiding anymore. She was awakening. Her son was close to being born. But this was no ordinary labor. Her body was preparing for something her people thought impossible. A life created from love, not design. A child that didn't belong to one world. But both. Aaron moved quickly between control panels, redirecting power, activating shields, preparing for something he knew they couldn't survive. "We don't have weapons strong enough," he said. "Even if the station's defense grid lights up, it won't stop them." "We're not here to fight," Vera said quietly. "Then what are we doing?" he asked. She looked at him with something deep and calm in her eyes. "We're here to show them what they fear most." Above them, a Valkyrian command ship locked onto the station. "Structure confirmed," the pilot said. "Energy spikes detected. Hybrid signature confirmed." "Orders?" asked a captain. A single word was returned: "Purge." But the moment the fleet moved into attack position, something unexpected happened. A pulse, not a weapon. A wave, golden and silver light exploded. From the station's core, not burning, not blinding, but calling. It pushed back the scanners, scrambled the missiles, bent radio waves like soft music. The ships paused. Inside the command deck, systems blinked. Then, static cleared, and a voice came through. Not Vera. Not Aaron. It was the child. Unborn, but speaking through light. A soft voice, neither male nor female, filled the command decks of every ship. "You are not here to destroy. You are here to witness." Panic struck some. Others dropped to their knees. But aboard the king's ship, Zavrix remained still. "A trick," he muttered. "Another human virus leaking into the code." But he knew it wasn't. This voice did not come from machines. It came from something deeper, older, something born from a place beyond empire and war. It was blood speaking. Down below, Vera's body lit up. She floated slightly above the chamber floor, cradled by energy. Aaron backed away, eyes wide. "Vera!" he called out, but she wasn't in pain. She was becoming. The child inside her was guiding the station. Guiding her. Outside, the defense grid didn't fire lasers. It opened. Massive panels peeled back to reveal carvings etched into the very metal. Not weapons, but stories. Symbols from both human and Valkyrian history. Side by side. War. Loss. Peace. Hope. These weren't machines of war. The station was never built to fight. It was built to remember. The light intensified. Across the galaxy, dormant satellites, relics of a forgotten alliance, activated for the first time in centuries. And across 100 worlds, people stopped what they were doing as the signal reached them. An image, Vera, glowing with life, a child of two species, a heartbeat that did not belong to a throne or a king, but to the future. Inside the command ship, the elder turned to Zavrix. "You've lost." The king didn't blink. "Not yet," he gave the order. "Fire." From space, dozens of missiles launched, sleek, fast, deadly. But the moment they crossed into the light field around the station, something extraordinary happened. They stopped. Not exploded. Not intercepted. Stopped, held midair, like time itself had paused. Then they melted into nothing. Not destroyed. Unmade. Aaron watched from the viewing screen. "That's not defense," he whispered. "That's will," said Vera, her voice echoing as if layered with something more. Then the time came. Her child. The heir was ready to be born, but he would not cry. He would speak, not with words, but with presence. His birth sent a wave through space. Ships powered down. Soldiers lowered their weapons. Even the king felt it, not fear, but silence. Deep, humbling. And for the first time in his life, Zavrix felt small. In the chamber, Vera wept as she held the child in her arms. He had eyes like hers, but filled with stars. He was not meant to rule. He was meant to change everything. He came into the world not with a cry, but with silence, a silence so deep, it hushed the stars. Inside the heart of the ancient station, Vera held her son in trembling arms. He was wrapped in light, not cloth. His skin shimmered between gold and silver, as though the stars had left. Fingerprints on him. His eyes were open, wide, calm, unbing. Eyes that looked like they had seen more than one lifetime, like they had waited through time to be born. Aaron stood nearby, speechless. He had delivered many lives into the world during his career as a scientist, but never like this. Never with the universe watching. Vera was weeping, not from pain, but from knowing she had not just given birth to a child, she had given birth to a turning point. Above the station, the war had stopped, ships still floated, weapons still waited, but no one moved. No. One breath too loud. The energy around the station was too powerful. Not burning like fire, not electric like machines. It was something older, a quiet force. One that didn't scream for control, but invited surrender. Inside every Valkyrian ship, the crew saw a single image on their screens. A child floating in the arms of a glowing mother. No crown, no flag, no speech, just a child. Breathing peace. Into a broken galaxy. On the royal ship, King Zavrik sat frozen in his command chair. He had not moved for several minutes. His generals whispered behind him, unsure what to do. "He is here," the elder finally said. "The prophecy you tried to erase." The king's lips tightened. "He is just a child," he said at last. The elder looked at him. "So were you. Once." Back on the station, the child reached his hand toward Aaron. The scientist leaned in, and the child's palm touched his face. In an instant, Aaron saw something. Not a memory. Not a dream, a future. He saw Earth and Valkyries not in battle, but in council. He saw children from both worlds learning together, playing, flying ships through peaceful skies. He saw healing, trade, laughter. He saw the king old silent, watching from afar. As the child stood at the center of two worlds, not as a ruler, but as a reminder, Vera whispered, "He is showing you." Aaron gasped, stepping back. "He's connected to everything," Vera nodded. "He carries what neither world ever had, choice." Aaron looked at the child again, not just a baby. A mirror of what could be. King Zavrix finally rose from his throne. The bridge was silent. The child's image still lingered on every screen. He walked to the front window and looked toward the station. Toward his daughter. He remembered the day she was born. He hadn't wept then. Valkyrian kings were not allowed. But now, his eyes burned, not from anger, but from something unfamiliar. Regret that he had tried to erase her. He had called her infertile. Unworthy. Weak. But now, she had done what no warrior in his empire ever could. She had ended a war. By giving life, the king turned to his fleet. And he gave the only order left to give. Stand down. A signal was sent to Earth. The human leaders still holding emergency meetings, still hiding in bunkers, still preparing for war, received one line of text from the Valkyrian Royal Network: "There will be no invasion. The Heir has spoken." The world paused. The world watched. And the world exhaled. Weeks passed, then months. Vera chose not to return to Valkyries. Instead, she and Aaron raised the child in the quiet corners of deep space, aboard the station that once served war, now blooming with green gardens, human laughter, and alien technology working side by side. The child grew fast. Too fast for comfort, but never out of control. He spoke early, walked early, and when he touched things, they changed, not by force, but by nature. When he held a dying flower, it bloomed again. When he touched a broken drone, it flew once more. He didn't speak often, but when he did, even machines seemed to listen. One day, A Valkyrian shuttle landed near the garden. The king stepped out alone. Older, slower, but not broken. He walked through the wildflowers until he stood face to face with the boy. No soldiers, no threats. Just eyes, one pair old, one impossibly young. The child tilted his head, studied the man, and then smiled. Not a royal smile, not a warrior's grin, just the kind of smile a child gives to someone who is trying. The king lowered himself onto one knee. He didn't speak, he didn't command. He simply bowed his head. The child placed a hand on it. A signal passed, not through wires, not through space, but through generations. The old throne had ended, and something better had begun. The child would never wear a crown. He would never rule. But wherever he walked, peace followed. Not because he was feared, but because he was understood. He was the child who shouldn't have existed, but did. And because of that, the stars had hope again.